김양태님, 양유경님.
Dozens of families painfully waiting in a South Korean airport lounge Sunday afternoon to see if their loved ones' names will be read aloud by officials. Authorities in the city of Muan have now identified the dozens killed after a Jeju Air passenger jet crashed earlier in the morning. The doomed flight took off from Bangkok, Thailand, and was set to land in Muan shortly after 9 a.m. But during landing, the belly of the plane hit the tarmac first, forcing the fuselage to veer off the runway before slamming into a wall and bursting into flames.
At this moment, we don't have all of the data, obviously. But there appears to be, number one, a bird strike. It appears to have impacted the right engine, so they probably had a right engine failure. It should never have a wall anywhere near the runway, nowhere near it. I would say that absolutely contravenes international standards to have that wall there.
South Korea's transportation ministry says the control tower did issue a bird strike warning shortly before the crash, but adds that an in-depth investigation is needed and may take some time to complete. The country's acting president Choi Sang-mok arrived in Muan hours after the crash to host an emergency meeting where he declared the collision site a special disaster zone.
The government will provide all necessary support for recovery efforts, assistance to families who lost their loved ones, and treatment for the injured people.
Emergency crews say they're now shifting their efforts from rescue to recovery. A total of 181 souls were on board the fateful flight, 175 passengers and 6 crew members. 179 people died, but 2 crew members did manage to survive and were rescued from the tail section of the plane. They were both rushed to hospital shortly after the crash. The hospital director says, as of now, one of the surviving victims is awake, conscious, and talking. South Koreans across the country are collectively mourning the aviation tragedy, but some say they're anxious as to how the government will handle the disaster.
Given the current difficult situation in the country and the fact that South Korea is now operating under another acting president, there are many government organizations that are vacant at the moment. This leads to uncertainty about whether the government can effectively perform its duties and respond to the accident.
In a media briefing, the CEO of Jeju Air apologized to the victims of the crash and their families, adding that the aircraft had no previous record of accident or malfunction. Meantime, Boeing is issuing condolences, saying the company is prepared to offer its support. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau also taking to X with a statement calling the incident heartbreaking. Global Affairs Canada has confirmed no Canadians were on board the flight. For City News, I'm Karling Donoghue.